I'm Jim Schwab. I'm manager of the Hazards Planning Center for the American Planning Association. With me is Miki Schmidt, who is with NOAA's Digital Coast program down in Charleston. And Miki has been managing Digital Coast for quite some time. We are now approaching the 10th anniversary of Digital Coast. It was formed back in 2007, and I wondered if you could start by giving us a little background on the origins of the whole idea of Digital Coast. What caused the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to come up with the idea for such a program, and how it got started?
Thank you, Jim. Our office, the Office for Coastal Management, is focused on supporting coastal resource management agencies around the country and trying to help provide technical assistance to them as well as grants assistance. We've been in existence for over 20 years, and through that time we heard again and again from the communities we're trying to serve that they saw all these geospatial data out on the internet and available, but they didn't know how to ingest it, they couldn't get to it, they didn't know how to integrate it with other data sets, and they just didn't know how to use it. So we heard for over a decade, help us address this need. And then around the year 2000, NOAA co-commissioned a study with the National Academy of Sciences. And they came to the same conclusions, that the federal government needed to get together, try to provide a resource that enabled that community have better access to data, tools, and training. And that's how the Digital Coast began. So we brought together some external private organizations and listened to their requirements and formed the vision for the Digital Coast.
Okay, so what specific needs were they telling you that this partnership needed to address that really got things off the ground?
Yeah, there were a few. One was data access, and data in formats that could be ingested into their workflows. A lot of data were out there. They couldn't find it. They couldn't get it into their systems to use it and integrate it. So that was one of the drivers. The other was that the technology was at a place where only the technical people could use it. And so we worked very closely with the external constituent user base to understand, okay, what formats do you need it that enable you to do your job better? And so those were two of the primary drivers, to develop resources that enable the non-technical audience to ingest this information in a way that can be presented to, say, a city leader or a community planner or a county local official, and put it in a format that they didn't have to know the geospatial technology of mapping and integrating remote sensing satellite data. They just wanted the information in a way that they could use it and apply it. And so those are some of the primary drivers.
So those partners have served a valuable role over the last
Absolutely.
8-10 years. Tell me a bit about what purposes those partners have served for NOAA.
Yeah, they've helped us focus. We don't have a lot of resources that we put into this effort. The demand always exceeded what we were enabled us to provide. We just didn't have the resources. So we formed this partnership, as you've alluded to, Digital Coast Partnership. We began with 5 external organizations, pretty diverse group. We worked with the Association of State Floodplain Managers, the National Association of Counties, the Coastal States Organization, the National States Geographic Information Council, and the Nature Conservancy. And those organizations all had very diverse missions, yet they had common requirements to get access to the data and the information and the technology. And so we worked with those groups to help prioritize the type of information and resources that we developed to address as many common issues as possible with those organizations. They represented a significant constituent base for our office.
Okay, and over time that's grown.
Yes.
It was originally 5, now
Yes.
it's 8. So talk a little about the logic of expanding that partnership and some of the criteria involved in just choosing who makes a good partner for NOAA's Digital Coast.
Yes, yeah, appreciate that, Jim. And we welcomed the American Planning Association and Jim Schwab to the partnership in 2009. And what we realized, we had those 5 core organizations, and as we were working with them, there were common, as I mentioned, common requirements that they all had, but there was something missing in that partnership. And so what we did is we evaluated other organizations based on, okay, what gaps could they fill, and how broad could that organization reach out into the coastal communities. And we came up with a list of organizations, and APA rose to the top at that time to say they have a significant member base. They reach into all sectors of the community, and they influence that long-term planning for coastal communities and resilience and all those issues. And so the benefit of bringing American Planning Association was seen by all as very important. And since that time, we worked with you, Jim, and other APA members to identify other requirements that were missing or other communities that were missing. And we identified the business sector and the real estate community and a lot of the private sector financial institutions. And so we invited the Urban Land Institute to join a couple of years after APA. So we've sort of, we have this prime partnership group of 8 organizations that reach a broad constituency, all not necessarily overlapping, but reaching diverse, or addressing diverse interests, all coming together to address coastal issues.
Now, there's one other aspect of this that I'd like to explore with you, which is one of the things that we all know has happened during the course of this partnership is that some relationships have evolved between the partners themselves in addition to their relationship with NOAA. And it's taken some time, and it's taken occasional detours, but it's had some significant results. Tell us a little bit about your perceptions of how that has evolved.
Yeah, that's actually been one of the most rewarding aspects of forming this partnership for NOAA. Bringing this diverse group together opened up opportunities for each of them as well. Each of the organizations they may have known about each other. Some had worked before with one another, but even in those cases, the partnerships have evolved greatly over time. As you mentioned, it's been nice and
Some
and
significant
rewarding.
projects they've undertaken.
Significant projects to look at. The project you're currently working on in partnership with ASFPM and looking at mainstreaming innovative techniques in coastal resilience and working in pilot communities at the local level like Toledo and Savannah. Seeing that evolve, all decisions are local, as you guys know, and having this diverse partnership work together to address those issues in the coast it's very rewarding to see how the little bit of influence we've had by bringing the groups together, how that's expanded your guys' efforts as well.
One last final point before we close, which is that's also suggests that a good deal of leveraging of NOAA's investment in Digital Coast has occurred in terms of the results that have come from this partnership.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. We've done a return on investment study now twice. We did one in 2011 and another one in 2013. And we worked through the partner organizations to understand how they were benefiting from NOAA's investment and leveraging the partnership's investment into this. And we see a 411% return on investment from the federal dollars going in, and combine that and leverage with the partner organizations is really making a difference.
So it makes a great case for continuing to fund the program.
We would hope so. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure.